Okay, so I got a major update now. This will be the biggest update I've done so far, game-wise. I went ahead and did the attack, the hurt, and the death. So now when the player gets hit, instead of instantly teleporting to the checkpoint, you get hurt. And then when you run out of HP, you die. It's not completely done yet. Like the UI on the side doesn't do anything right now, and some of the stuff is wrong. Like when you die, you can go into a wall, like right there. And then also when you die, your shadow is supposed to change position, but it just stays in the same spot. But the main like core parts of those tasks are all done now, and I think it turned out pretty well. So yeah, I'll just go through it. So here's getting punched from the side. Here's getting punched from like bottom right. Then this is getting punched from the bottom. And then I'll go from top right. Oops, like that. And then from the top too, I'll show you. Yeah, this is from the top. So from the top and from the bottom, the head just kind of squishes, and then from all the other ones, the head kind of like wobbles back. And then there's 5 death animations too. The death animation depends which direction the player is facing. But yeah, I'll go through all of it. I'm going to go through and show like close-ups of each of the animations. But yeah, another cool thing is when you die, if you have a bunch of unsaved coins, they spew out upon when you die. So then you they like it kind of shows where you died in a way. I might have a separate system where it shows like every place where you died, but you can also kind of see from the coins where you died. So I could see it was like right here that I died. But yeah, the other cool thing is I showed the standing punch, and the standing punch won't work while you're walking because then you would slide. So I added like a crab walk punch. So if you look at like this green guy here, when he punches me, he kind of crab walks a bit. So like that way, even if I come from behind, it still kind of looks right because the crab walking is like kind of ambiguous. So you can crab walk from any direction and it still works. So yeah, there's the standing punch and then the crab walk punch. And then if the enemy is moving quickly, it'll do a kick. The kicks are pretty cool, although they're kind of hard to see. But yeah, so like this slower guy, he'll crab walk punch. The faster guy will kick. And there's 5 different kicks too. They all kind of look similar, but the top kick and the down kick, he does like a 360. Like, see, he does like a 360. He like starts kicking on the left and then swings around to the right. And same with the top one. Okay, that one was a diagonal one. I'll show you the top one. So if he kicks me, see there, he did another like 360 kick, and then all the other ones are like diagonal kind of. Once you start punching or start kicking, you're stuck in that direction and that flip until you're done. So that I think that just kind of looks better. And same with the hurt animation. Once I get hurt, I'm stuck playing that animation until it's over. And the cool thing about the hurt is normally when you walk, you're walking forward, but on the hurt animation, he does like a backwards walk. So it's, you know, it's you might not notice unless you're looking for it, but he's walking backwards instead of forwards. Yeah, there's going to be some other stuff, like I think the player's going to change color when you get hurt. But like it'll like flash a certain color because there is some like invincibility frames. I think there's like 3 or 4 invincibility frames. But yeah, right now there's no indication that you're invincible, so it might be good to have some like. I think it would just look cool to have like a color flashing. But yeah, I also fixed, there's like a little bug with these rotating enemies, like the ones right in the center here. I fixed that, so now they're always facing the right direction. But yeah, one problem with the hurt slash invincibility is like if you get hit really hard, you can kind of get bashed through somebody, and now you're like stuck in like a, you know, an area you're not supposed to be in. But I think I can fix that just by having diagonal. I'll eventually implement diagonal walls, and then that way you can't get by them because they're diagonal. And the diagonal walls will also help with situations like this where I want to force you to go with these enemies and not just hide in the corner. So right now I have to use stationary enemies to do that. But I can also, when I add diagonal walls, I can do that as well. But yeah, the ones right around the edge are moving quick enough to kick me. So you see I got kicked. And then the ones closer to the center will punch me, crab walk punch me. See, this guy will do like a crab walk punch. But yeah, just trying to think. I also added a little extra thing in the frames per second counter, the low thing. The actual is from the start of the update to the end of the update, and then it averages the last 20 frames. So the average for the last 20 frames is like 600, whereas the low is the lowest actual update in the last 20 frames. So as long as the low doesn't dip below 60, I don't get any lag. And the low isn't dipping below 60. When you open and close this, it gets pretty close, but that's not really that important. But yeah, let me just think. Pretty much showing everything here. But yeah, oh yeah, also there's I'm gonna get into more detail about this, but the real mode, I was originally gonna make a good real mode, whereas now it's purely for testing purposes. It's purely like a proof of concept. I was originally gonna call this the world's hottest game, and then have the real mode have like hot women instead of me, like in this, and the me sprites are really shitty quality. I was gonna do like hot women wearing costumes and makeup and maybe body paint and stuff, and have it be in good quality. And you're probably gonna not tint, like right now the entire character gets tinted, whereas I was gonna do just the clothing gets tinted. But yeah, what I've decided is instead of making World's Hottest Game, I'm just gonna go ahead and make World's Hardest Game 5, and there'll be an emphasis on stick mode and simple mode, and there won't be a real mode. But what I'll do is, if stick mode is a success, so I'm gonna do World's Hardest Game 5, but optimized for stick mode. And then if stick mode is a success, then I'm gonna rename it to World's Hottest Game and make real mode a good real mode. Yeah, so it'll be World's Hardest Game 5 with stick mode. And then if people like stick mode and I make enough money, then I'm going to go ahead and make I'm going to call it World's Hottest Game instead of World's Hardest Game 5. And then I'll have an emphasis on the real mode. Yeah, I think it'll be good because I don't want to go through all the effort of making real mode if people don't really want to play it. So the stick mode will be a good way of testing whether or not people like this stuff. I think I just found a bug. I think when I switch modes, I'm like getting all my health back. Yeah. Well, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just going to write, whatever, I'll remember. Let me just write that down. Okay, anyway, but yeah, anyway, so there's a lot of people who over the years have asked for World's Hardest Game 5. I will officially be making World's Hardest Game 5. And if stick mode does well, then it'll just be World's Hottest Game, formerly known as WHG5. But yeah, I'm going to have this real mode in still as a joke. Just, you know, I might as well. But yeah, there's the game is gonna be stick mode and simple mode, and it's gonna be World's Hardest Game 5. So anyway, I think I showed most of it. Now I just want to give you like a close up of the animations. So you've already seen some of these, like the punching ones, standing while punching. You've seen, and then these have the wrong IDs, but whatever. This is basically the same thing, but I added a little crab walk. So the crab walk is different from the normal walk. Normal walk, it's like unambiguously going in a certain direction. You could see he's like walking forward. Whereas the crab walk over here, it's meant to be ambiguous. So he's just lifting his feet and putting them up and down. And that way I can crab walk while attacking. Whoops. So like, this guy I can walk into the side of this guy and he's punching the side and crab walking, and it kind of looks like he's still walking in the right direction. And I could also come from behind or forward, and it kind of looks right no matter what. So yeah, these are the crab walk. This is just the standing punch mixed with a crab walk. Those are the simple ones. Then this is where it gets to some serious animation. This took a long time. But yeah, so these are the kicks. This is kicking down. So if you imagine the player's like right here, he kind of kicks down into you and he does like a 360, then lands and then recovers. Let me just turn off the frame here. So you see it's kind of the down and the vertical kicking, it was harder to animate because the stickman kind of all like mushes together. So I had to do like a 360 kick, and even then it kind of hard. It's okay, but yeah. Anyway, this is the down one. Then for the up one, I did a 360 kick again from the other direction. So this would be if the player's like up here, he's like bending down, kicking you, and then landing. The up and the down kind of look the same, but these are two unique animations. I think the down might be better actually, but I'm not sure. But yeah, those are the up and down kicks. This is the side kick. The side kick I messed up a little bit. He shouldn't really, his knee shouldn't, it should be more like this. His knee right here should be more like that, and then it should extend right at the end. But it's like kind of extending too quickly. But I decided to just leave it as is. It looks good enough, and like when I arrange it into a sprite sheet like this, you see like there's like kicking and stuff here. Once I put it in the sprite sheet, I'm kind of committed to it because it's really hard to like modify the sprite sheet. And I kind of decided that it was wrong after I put it into the sprite sheet. It looks good enough, but anyway, this is the side kick. And then these ones are probably a little bit better. These are like the diagonal kicks. See, the side kick is kind of like stale. He like kind of comes into one position and then lands. Whereas the down from a side, it's got more like fluidity to it. Like I forget, like the center of mass or whatever, or I don't know if that's the right word, but his arm kind of like moves independently from his body. So it's got like a better kind of, the arm is better, the left arm. Whereas this one, the left arm, it kind of is weird. It's not independent from the body enough. Whereas this one, I really like the way the arm is. So this down and side one is probably the best one. It kind of looks the same as the side, but I didn't want to make it too diagonal because then it's too hard to see what's going on. Yeah, and then this is the up and side one. The up and side one's okay too, but I like the down and side one. The left arm moves a bit independently too, so it's kind of nice, but the down and the side I think is better, but they're kind of the same. This one's harder to do because he's like, I don't know, they're all kind of hard to do. But anyway, here, I'll go through all the kicks now. So down, up, side, down, side, up, side. So then I did the hurt animations. The hurt, is just the walking but backwards, and then I modified the torso and the head. So where are they? So here's down. See, you can't really tell he's walking backwards, but he is. He's going down, and then I bend the torso and squish the head. Then same with up. I couldn't really... I think they're fine, but I kind of like the other ones better. Like, this is the side one. See how you could clearly see he's walking backwards, and his head kind of, like, squashes and stretches. I'm trying to do the stickman with a unique style where the head is like a water balloon. Most stickman, the head just always remains a perfect circle, whereas what I'm trying to do, for example, let me go back to the kicking. When he like bends down, his head kind of squashes a bit, and then as he moves around, see when he lands, his head kind of squashes and stretches a bit. I'm trying to squat. See, like here it's bending back, and then he lands and it's bending forward. I'm trying to always squash, and then this is another good example. See, like he kicks, he's coming down, and his head's squishing forward. Then he gets to the full extension, and the head squishing back, and then it squishes forward again. So I'm trying to do like squash and stretch with the head wherever it makes sense to do it. So yeah, these are the three. The side, downside, and upside. They all look pretty similar, but there's subtle differences to them. Yeah, and then this is where it got really tricky. The death animations. I have the down and the up. The down, I couldn't figure out anything that would look good where it's like coming toward the camera. So I just did the down as a side one because I thought it was better like that. But yeah, here, this is probably not this is not a very good one actually, but it's good enough. But he just kind of like leans back a bit, then falls, smashes his head, and then his head wobbles while he like kind of like rests on the ground. He just kind of collapsed. This is like a standard collapsing. This one will play when you're facing toward the camera, even though it's more to a side, but it's good enough because it's too hard to find something to do toward the camera. This is the one away from the camera where you just do the splits and then you slump to a side. This one at least makes sense as an up animation. Yeah, I probably should have done this as the down animation actually, but whatever, it's no big deal. But yeah, at least with the down animation, I like the arm, the right arm here. I like how it kind of waves in the wind a bit, and the wobbling at the end is pretty good. Although actually it's not. The other ones are better, but yeah, this one he kind of does the splits, and then his head stays a circle up to this point because he's moving so slow. But then I'll squash and stretch the head like right here. But yeah, that's that one. This is the side one. Side one's probably not that good either, but it's good enough. He drops to his knees, his head squashes a bit, then he like leans back a bit, and then he smashes his face and like bounces on the ground. This is the shortest one. This was the first one that I did. Then this was but anyway, I'll explain later. Then this one is probably my favorite one. This is down and to the side. So he like sits on his butt, and then he leans forward a bit, and then he whacks his head on the ground, and then his legs come up, and then his head comes up. But I like the squat. The head I went like with a really like water balloons, like super water balloony, where like every frame of it, the head is not a perfect circle. And I like how there's quite a bit going on. But yeah, I was never fully happy with any of them actually, but they're good enough. It's really, really hard work. This is down, up, side, down to the side, and then this is the funniest one though. This one has like a ridiculously long. This is like 101 frames, I think. This one, there's no squash and stretch on the head. He just slowly crawls on the ground and then like crawls a bit and then dies. But this one's kind of funny. Although he could crawl into a wall right now, but I'm gonna fix it later so that it'll make sure that he's either flipped or playing a different animation, and that way he'll never go into a wall. But yeah, this one is the silliest one because it's so long and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of silly. But yeah, I'll just go through each of them again. Down, up, side, downside, and upside. And then when you look at the sprite sheet, it looks like, actually I could show you with the IDs here. This is what the sprite sheet looks like. Each red square is a frame for a texture, and then the blue text is just for me to know which is which. And then when I export it to this is the first sheet, and then I have a little bit of the second sheet for the last dying animation. But yeah, and just for fun, I'll just say the order that I animated them in. The dying was about probably about 15 hours that I did all in a row for one day, or not quite that much, but almost that much. That was how long it took me to animate. Yeah, this is the first one I did. It's kind of the simplest. Then I did this next one, the up, because it was kind of easy. Then I did the down, which I wasn't really happy with because he's not coming toward the camera, but whatever. At least the arm is kind of good, and then the wobbling at the end is okay. Although it doesn't match this this one doesn't wobble at the end the same way. I didn't want them to all be too similar, so. But this is the one with the best. Oh wait, no, this one is the one with the best wobbling. I feel like the head does get like a water balloon kind of look to it, which is what I want. But yeah, I did the X, then the up, then the down, this one. And then I did the down X. This is probably my favorite one. And then I wanted something easy to do the last one. So I did the crawling, which turned out to be not actually that easy. But this motion here is easy. But then the actual crawling is a little bit tricky to get right. I had never animated someone crawling before. It's a little bit weird too. I kind of messed it up maybe slightly, but it's good enough. But anyway, those are those. So yeah, that's the first sheet. That's the second sheet. This is what it looks like in actual image format. If the stickman is ever larger than this, it'll get pixelated a bit, but it never really goes larger than this. But yeah, it's a pretty giant sprite sheet. It's 4096 by 4096. And then this one is mostly empty, but later I'm going to fill it with other stick animations. And then this is the real sprite sheet. These get stretched significantly, but it's more convenient to just do it like this temporarily. But yeah, you could see like standing, walking, punching while standing, punching while crab walking, kicking, and then getting hurt, and then dying. And when you die in real mode, the player kind of gets smaller. It's because, see how it gets all messed up too? It's because I can fix that, but I don't want to invest the time into doing it all right, because this is just a temporary like testing mode kind of. But yeah, the kicking is like way too slow too. I took way too long, but yeah. So yeah, these are the sheets. This is did all those animations. It was a shit ton of work. I also forgot to mention, when you get hit, if you get hit by a standing enemy, it only launches you a little bit, and then the faster the enemy's moving, the faster you get launched, but it also takes into account the direction he's moving in. But for example, like that, he kicked me like super far because he's kicking me. He's going really fast in this direction. If I come up from behind somebody, it always does the minimum amount of like distance. Like, can't believe, like here, it only pushed me a little bit. But if you come in front of somebody, it'll push you further. So like this one's moving really slow, so it doesn't push me that far. But like this one, you can kind of see, or I'll go to the spinning ones. See here, when he kicks me, I'll go really far. And yeah, you could see the shadows in the wrong spot. I'm gonna fix that later. But yeah, it kicks you at the angle it hits you at, and then depending on how fast the enemy's going, you get kicked further. And yeah, I also wear different clothes in these sprite sheets. Like here I'm wearing a white shirt, here I'm wearing black pants. I didn't really bother wearing the same clothes because it's just a joke mode anyway. It's not meant to look good. But in the future, if World's Hardest Game 5 does well and people like stick mode, then I'm gonna rename it to World's Hottest Game and add a real mode. And the real mode will be like good quality images, good quality real people that I film on a green screen with costumes and makeup and stuff. And yeah, I was originally going to try to do it with AI generated people because that would be easier. Like I could then raise money to then hire the real people. But I've been playing around with AI a lot, and I find if you're doing a close-up of someone's face, the face looks good. But if you want the whole body, all of a sudden the face doesn't really look good anymore. You only get a good-looking face if it's specifically like a close-up. So I don't know. I could still probably maybe make the AI generated stuff work, but it's so much better with real people that I don't even know if I want to do AI. Like it kind of is synonymous with like crap, and I don't want it to. I don't know. I'd rather come out strong and have the first real people version be with like actual real models. This one is technically the first real people version, but this is just a joke. This is just, this isn't meant to look good. But yeah, what I'm hoping is that I release World's Hardest Game 5 with simple and stick mode. And then the stick mode is a hit and everyone likes it, and I make a bunch of money. At which point I'll then take that money and go hire models and make real mode. So I would have to make a fair amount off of stick mode, off World's Hardest Game 5, in order for real mode to come to fruition. But what I'm going to do is there'll be like a free demo, and then you pay $10 to unlock the whole game with stick mode. So yeah, it's not going to be a fully free web game like the other World's Hardest games were, but I need to make like probably 100K, or I don't know. I need to make a fair amount. I don't know exactly how much, but in order to do real mode, I would need significant funding. So yeah, I'm gonna release it as a game. It's still gonna be a web game, obviously, but there's gonna be a free demo. Then you create an account and pay $10, and then you get the full game. And if I get like 10,000 people to do that, I'll make 100K, and then I can go and take that 100K and buy, do everything. I pay for the models and the costumes and the lighting and the cameras and stuff. But yeah, I also need to. I need the money for living expenses because right now I'm I have some savings, but if I were to move out, they would just run out because I don't have a job. So yeah, I'm really I'm gonna try my hardest to make World's Hardest Game 5 as good as possible, to the point where people play the demo, really enjoy it, and then buy the full game. And if I can then do that well enough, I'll rename it to World's Hottest Game and add the real people in. So that's the plan right now. So anyone who is hoping for World's Hardest Game 5, it's coming. And also, now that I'm not really focused on real mode anymore, it's also going to be quicker to develop. And this attack, hurt, and die stuff was probably the hardest part. So now I'm done the hardest part. So anyway, everything's going well right now. I'm kind of relieved that I'm not going to do the real people mode for the first version of the game because that's really hard to pull off. And I'm glad I'm not going to be using AI anymore, most likely. I'm still going to test the AI stuff a bit more just to confirm. But I probably won't bother with AI. I'll just try to have the simple mode and the stick mode, and if it does well, then I'll go to the real mode. Because I'm not fully sure if people want to play like stick mode like this. And if people don't like stick mode, they're probably not going to like real mode. But yeah, personally, I find stick mode way more interesting than simple mode. I don't really like simple mode. Like, I've been making World's Hardest Game for so many years on simple mode. It's just kind of boring now. Whereas stick mode is cool and new and interesting. And I like that you can get hurt a few times and then die, as opposed to just instantly dying every time. Yeah, so I'm really excited about World's Hardest Game 5. The main difference is it's optimized for stick mode. But anyway, and like, for example, like normally in World's Hardest Game, the older ones, this like purple circle would be taking up almost a full tile, whereas now it's smaller. I already explained this in a previous video, but now it's smaller, so I have to put 2 circles on in order for it to take up a whole tile. But the cool thing about doing 2 circles is when you have like a hurt thing like this, you can get like bounced back and forth, kind of. It adds more like bouncing potential. So like, I don't know, the angles that you bounce at become kind of cool because it's not just the angle of the one circle, there's 2. So if you come dead center, you get pushed at a diagonal angle, kind of, because you'll hit one of the other ones, one or the other. So if there was only one enemy here and I was standing like that, I would get pushed straight down. But because there's 2, I'll get pushed at an angle. And getting pushed at an angle is actually kind of cooler than getting pushed straight. Yeah, there's also, I don't really consider it a bug, but you can like wedge your way between them like that. If you get pushed hard enough and you're already near an enemy, I can like go like that and wedge through. But I don't really mind that. I think it's fine. And I already showed it like up here. Like, I'll just get pushed through this. But this type of problem where you're stuck, you're not actually stuck even. Let me just see. If you look at the bound boxes, I'm not actually stuck. I could get through. Like, I could just walk right in there like that. So, but anyway, so I could still get out. But anyway, I'm going to fix that with diagonal walls. And yeah, and also, if you want to test out the different modes, just open up this hotkey panel. And it tells you everything you need to know. So toggling graphics mode is Control M. But yeah, anyway, so that's it. I'm really happy with it. There's still some stuff left to do. For example, I don't want the death animation to get stuck in the wall. I don't want I want the shadow to like follow the player while he's dying. And then also, when you get punched like this, you end up standing the opposite direction, but since you walked backwards, you should be standing the direction you were walking backwards in. So I want to just fix this so it doesn't flip at the end. But yeah, apart from that, although then when he dies, I do want him to go. So it's a little bit tricky. Right now it's dying in the right direction, but it's not standing in the right direction. I just want it to stand the opposite direction here but anyway. And also, I forgot to mention, but when you move the player, when you get hurt, if I don't press anything, it'll get pushed a certain distance, and then if I Oh, and it died there. So when you're dying, you can't move. So, but yeah, you can fight against the push, kind of. So if I'm holding right, I only get pushed a little bit. Whereas if I'm not holding right, I'll get pushed further. So the getting pushed doesn't... You can still move while you're being pushed. You can, like, fight the current, kind of. But yeah, I like how you can kind of, like... Try to, when you're getting pushed like diagonally or something, you could try to like correct for it manually with the keys. But yeah, anyway, so I'm not gonna go too much more detail, but there's a lot left to do still. It's just I got a lot of the hard stuff out of the way right now, and I'm feeling good about my plans and so forth. I do really hope that World Hardest Game 5 does well. But I'm gonna put my all into it, and I have many years of experience at this point, from 1, 2, 3, and 4. Even though that was done in Flash, and this is kind of harder to do. This is pure code. I can't just animate the enemies moving around. I have to code them, but I still think I'll do a good job, and it'll work out well. And then I'll take the money and make World's Hottest Game. I'll convert it to World's Hottest Game. So anyway. Wish me luck. I'll do another update soon, although it may take a little while before I have anything like interesting to show. But I'll try to do updates as frequently as possible.